Which service is responsible for converting a fully qualified domain name, like ProfessorMesser.com, into an IP address? DNS, Domain Name System, resolves fully qualified domain names into IP addresses, and can also perform reverse lookups from IP address to domain name. Which service automatically assigns IP addresses and other configuration settings to devices when they start up on a network? DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, automatically assigns IP addresses and configuration settings, and enterprise networks often run multiple DHCP servers for redundancy. Which file sharing protocol is commonly used by Windows systems, while Mac OS environments commonly use Apple Filing Protocol, AFP, instead? Windows systems commonly use SMB, Server Message Block, for file sharing, while Mac OS environments commonly use the Apple Filing Protocol, AFP. Which three protocols are commonly supported by network printers for managing print jobs across a network? Network printers commonly support SMB, the Internet Printing Protocol, IP, and LPD, Line Printer Daemon, for receiving and managing print jobs. Which protocol is used to consolidate log files from switches, routers, servers, and firewalls into a central database, often a SIEM? Syslog is the protocol used to consolidate log files from many diverse systems into one central location, typically a SIEM, Security Information and Event Manager. What does the acronym SIEM stand for, referring to the central server that consolidates and correlates log data? SIEM stands for Security Information and Event Manager, a central point that consolidates log files and correlates information across diverse systems. Which markup language is used by developers to build web pages that are stored on a web server and interpreted by a browser? HTML, Hypertext Markup Language, is used to build web pages, which are stored on the web server and interpreted by the browser to render a graphical display. What does the acronym AAA stand for, referring to a server that checks credentials and grants access to network resources? AAA stands for Authentication, Authorization, and Accounting, describing the core functions of an authentication server that verifies credentials and grants access. What is the standard language used to store and retrieve information from a relational database server? SQL, Structured Query Language, is the standard language used to store, retrieve, and manage information in relational database servers such as Microsoft SQL Server and MySQL. Which protocol allows computers to synchronize their date and time with a central, accurate clock source? NTP, Network Time Protocol, allows computers to periodically check in with an NTP server to keep their date and time accurate, which is important for log correlation and encryption. What term describes an all-in-one security appliance placed at the network edge that can combine firewall, IPS, URL filtering, spam filtering, and VPN functionality into a single threat management, UTM, system, also called a next-generation firewall or web security gateway, combines multiple security functions such as firewall, IPS, URL filtering, and VPN into one device? Which device distributes incoming requests evenly across multiple servers and automatically removes a failed server from the rotation? A load balancer distributes traffic across multiple servers and automatically detects and removes failed servers from rotation, restoring them once they're back online. Which type of server receives a client's request, forwards it on the client's behalf, evaluates the response, and can provide caching and content scanning? A proxy server acts as an intermediary, making requests on behalf of a client and evaluating responses, often providing caching, access control, and content scanning. What does SCADA stand for? Referring to systems used to remotely view, manage, and control large-scale industrial equipment. SCADA stands for Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition, also known as an Industrial Control System, ICS, used to remotely manage large-scale industrial equipment. What term describes a purpose-built device, such as a fire alarm system or time clock, where users typically do not have direct access to the underlying operating system? An embedded system is a purpose-built device where the operating system is not directly accessible to the user, with the manufacturer providing tools needed to support it. Why is it often recommended to place IoT devices, like smart thermostats or refrigerators, on their own segmented network? Manufacturers of IoT devices like refrigerators or thermostats often specialize in the appliance itself rather than network security, so segmenting these devices onto their own network limits potential exposure if one is compromised. Great job! You made it through all 16 questions. Subscribe to Trivia Challenge for more fun challenges. See you next time.